The it's really high up. No, 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 no. I don't want to be here. That was the entire experience I had. I just what I just
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show, coming at you live on Friday night. Tonight's your host, James Bay.
Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Show. I hope you enjoyed that guest episode where I had Tom Duncan's back. We discussed the sitcoms and that sort of thing went down. So the topic of this week is a bit different. It's not TV takes, movie takes, sitcom takes, tier list takes, whatever the thing was. It's more about just a little bit about life experiences, or at least some life experience I've had in terms of how I've been scared of things and how that's sort of an aspect of my life that I want to go into. It's not really like a personal thing. It's just like experiences I've had that will be interesting to know about, so people can understand. Oh, maybe he was scared of this thing. He was scared of that thing. He's scared of that. Yada yada yada. So a few things that I've been scared of is like heights, the dark, dogs, swimming, and that kind of thing. And then there's also some weather stuff in there as well. So I'm just gonna get that's just give you an idea of it. So, like I have been in heights. I've just been like, oh no, the it's really high up. No, 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 no. I don't want to be here. That was the entire experience I had. I just didn't get being up at a high position, and so I was just like, oh my god, yeah, I just felt really, really, really scared. Just going on a ride is just not what I want to do. It's just never the thing I wanted to do, man, and it was just kind of crazy how I went on all these rides, and I had this one time when I won tickets to a theme park, and I never went because I knew I would just be scared of rides, and that sort of thing happened. And just from enjoying my life, I've just never really been into going on rides and going into high places. It's not been a thing I want to do, and it would probably be better if I did it now, because then I have more to do with my life. Because there is skydiving as well, which makes me kind of scared. Like skydiving, just falling out of a plane, like that would be kind of crazy. Just falling out of a plane like that. But I bet it could be fun. But in my head, it's kind of like, oh man, just imagine just flying, or gliding down to like a landing spot, and it's just very high up in the air. Like I can't imagine how crazy that would even get, like just flying up there. And then there's bungee jumping as well. It's like, oh man, like I can't imagine doing that. Like that is just gonna be so intense. Like just doing a bungee jump would just be so intense. You just bounce, and oh man, what if you broke something? What if you just broke a bone or something like that? And people can say, oh, he's gonna be a scaredy cat, yada yada yada. But that's sort of just my experience with height. I just don't like it. Like height, I've never been a fan of just going up to a high place, and yeah, and the dark. Now getting to the dark, I just never wanted to be in the dark. It's very scary for me, and I never understood it. But as time has went on, I've been able to get used to the dark, and now I'm able just to watch stuff on my Xbox in the dark, and I'm not like, oh my god, why is it so dark in my room? I'm never like that now, but I was like that as a kid. I was just very, 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 very scared of the dark. It was something that I was just very scared of, and I couldn't overcome till a very late point in my life. And I managed to do that, and I'm glad I did, because I have just just had, yeah, that like the dark is just a very, it's one thing that's actually quite a common fear that people have. Like, I am pretty sure that there's a lot of people out there that used to be afraid of the dark, and they never wanted to actually get into the dark and go into these tiny spaces. Like, especially if we go to tiny spaces, right, it's gonna get dark and dark more, and people would get afraid of that. But I have never been afraid of tiny spaces before, but at the dark I was very afraid of, because there was this one time I actually went through a cave. Now that sounds, people are like, oh my god, that actually sounds a bit scary, James. And yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It might actually be a bit scary, but it was kind of cool at the same time. Like, I was shimmying through a cave. It's like, yeah, I'm shimmying through a cave. I'm going to a cave, and that just sounds so cool, right? That sounds like a fun thing to do, because you see in movies, you see all this thing where people go through a cave, and it's like, oh, maybe something will happen. And usually in movies, they usually depict it as like, there's going to be traps around, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that, obviously. So obviously it's going to be different to real life. But yeah, just like the dark and the height. So I did mention dogs and swimming, I believe, and weather. So there was dogs. The for the longest time, I've not been afraid. I've not been that like into dogs, and I've not been. I don't want to be around them, kind of thing. So it's like the dog just barks at me. There's this time when I've walked home, and then I would hear a dog barking, but now it's just like nothing to me now. Like, when I hear a dog barking now, it's just like, yeah, whatever. You're just barking now. I don't care, basically. Because I used to be like, oh my god, what if there's a dog across the street? What if that dog just comes up to me and goes like, ah, and it just bites me, and it bites me, and it bites me? What if that happens? What if that happens? Sort of thing. So I just want to avoid that. I wanted to avoid basically being attacked by a dog, and that's sort of why that happened. But I was kind of overreacting, because not every dog is bad, because it depends on the way they train dogs. Because there's pets like people, there's different ways people actually treat their pets. So because of that, not every owner is gonna have these insanely like murderous dogs, kind of thing, or these dogs that bite and that type of thing. Yeah, there's actually this Peabody and Sherman movie where this dog actually bit a human, and it went into the office and stuff like that. I remember watching Peabody and Sherman. Like, that was one movie that really kind of replicated what dogs are like, and that just came to mind, like how dogs would treat humans, and how that plays into the fear factor, and how that sort of goes into it a little bit. So on the same note, there's also cats. I've actually been afraid of cats before. It sounds a bit insane. Just some of these fears, people are going to think some of these fears I have are a bit insane, but cats were a thing where if they scratched me, I'm like, no, do not scratch me, and I mean, the people will think I'm insane, but yeah, that some of this stuff is completely natural, because I never understood things. I never understood how a cat would sit on me, because I mean, I've never actually had pets, so my understanding of cats and dogs are not exactly the best. So do not call me like Einstein for saying, oh, the dog's scary, so dogs are bad and I don't like dogs, because I'm not an expert on this. I'm not a vet, so I wouldn't know how a dog would operate, and how a cat would operate, and how the cat would function, and how the cat would act, and that kind of thing. Because I mean, I've just never really had pets as well, which is kind of the reason why it ties into me being scared of dogs and cats. So it's just another layer of why I've just had that fear, had that emotion where it's like, oh, there's a dog coming. Oh no. And I just run. There was this one time when a dog there's sometimes when these dogs kind of react to me differently, and I get nervous about it and that sort of thing, and it kind of and I feel like there was this one time when a dog tried to chase me, and it was like it was high intensity, and I was trying to run away, but gladly the person was like, it managed to get the dog away from me. I feel like the dog was almost at my shoe, and so it just was so close to me that I was like, oh, could have bit me. It could have actually bit me. I'm really glad I didn't, because I'm pretty sure I was trying to get home, and I just wanted to get home, and then this dog comes around and it tries to get me, but it never did. So screw you, dog, you didn't get next to me, freaking dog, just dogs. So, oh man, I've just went on an absolute tangent about dogs and cats there, but there was also, like I was saying, there was also swimming and weather. So when it comes to swimming, now swimming is one ability people have in swimming sports and that sort of thing. And went in swimming sports. I never actually did swimming sports because I'm not actually that good at swimming, and I was just scared of getting in the water and all like that. I don't like getting in the water. I've never actually liked beaches. Like there's literally, when I say this, there's only like one beach that I like. One out of all the beaches I've been to, there's only been one beach I like. Now that sounds a bit insane, but this one beach is in Papamoa, and I went there in January, or late December, early January, that New Year time, a bit before I started the podcast anyway. And I really loved the beach, and I loved the waves. The waves weren't too insane, because there's this other beach I went to, like Raglan, and the waves were absolutely insane. Like they were like going just going absolutely higher than I wanted them to, and that just made my experience feel very scared. And there was this one time when I got sucked under. Like I know I sound like I'm exaggerating right now, but I actually got sucked under. Like I was like, holy. I got sucked under because I was on the wrong side of the beach, so I got scared, and that was just insane how I got sucked under in a beach. And that's why I've kind of not been into swimming, and I have been down the swimming pool things, or the swimming chutes. Sorry. So the swimming chutes, I've been down them before. It's actually quite fun. Like this one time, it was actually quite fun, but I've never been on so many, and I did go. I think I went down one in Spain as well. I think I went to Spain, and there was this one swimming place that I went to, and there was that, and it was usually my parents that would guide me so that I didn't drown, kind of thing. Obviously, because it's a parent, so they need to look after the child and don't want it to die or drown. Obviously, that's kind of obvious. So yeah, weather. The weather was like, it's not like I'm against weather. It's nothing to do with that. It's just like, oh, the rain's falling on me. What am I gonna do? Like rain. I was very scared of rain. Like rain, I didn't want the rain to get on me, and that sort of thing happened, and the rain just became a thing where I didn't like it, and I didn't want the rain to get on me, basically. And the wind, I didn't want the wind to blow at me, and I was like, I ended up crying at the rain and the wind and that kind of thing. But there was also hail. I mean, I actually couldn't stand hail when I was in Scotland. That was one thing that I did not like. There was a lot of hail. I don't know if I was scared of the hail, but it was annoying when it got on your head. And I have not experienced that much in New Zealand, but there has definitely been times when I have been a bit concerned about the weather and been a bit scared about the weather. So there's that. That's kind of just, I suppose that's just kind of what I've been scared of. This is a bit of an interesting episode, as you can tell, because I kind of have drifted away from a little bit of movies and TV. I just wanted to make a sort of interesting episode. And sometimes these episodes they do well, and other times they don't do well, because there's some ideas that are more interesting than others, and I understand that, and that's completely natural. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify. Of course, I'm going to keep saying this because that's another platform that I actually put the podcast onto, and I have managed to link it to my About page on YouTube. I managed to find a way to do it, so there is actually a direct link to the podcast itself. So yeah, we'll see you next week. Make sure to check out the highlights, James Rambling Show more, that kind of thing. Yeah, goodbye, see you next week.